Have you ever wondered what would happen if space had oxygen? It's an intriguing proposition, a vast cosmic ocean, typically void of this life-giving element, suddenly teeming with oxygen. As it stands, the absence of oxygen in space is one of its most defining and indeed daunting characteristics. It's what makes it so inhospitable to most known forms of life. Imagine, if you will, the sheer emptiness of space. A vacuum that stretches on for billions of light years, suddenly filled with the very substance that fuels our existence. It's a concept that challenges our understanding of the cosmos. It's a concept that could potentially revolutionize space travel, making the stars a little more within our reach. But as with all things, there are two sides to every coin. So, we must ask ourselves, but what if this wasn't the case? What if space was filled with oxygen? Let's dive into this fascinating thought experiment. Imagine the possibility of astronauts breathing freely in space. The cosmos, once a vast and inhospitable void, could transform into a place where humans can exist without the constraints of a spacesuit. Picture this. Astronauts are no longer tethered to their bulky life support systems. They can breathe easy, exploring the infinite expanse of the universe, unhindered. Such a possibility could revolutionize the way we perceive space travel. No more would we need to worry about the intricate logistics of oxygen supply on long-duration missions. Spacewalks would become less risky, and the experience of floating in zero gravity would be even more surreal, almost like swimming in an ocean of stars. However, this tantalizing prospect isn't without its complications. An environment rich in oxygen could present new challenges, altering the dynamics of space exploration in ways we can't yet predict. Yet, as with any major change, this comes with its own set of challenges. One major concern with oxygen in space would be the risk of fire. Imagine this, a universe ablaze, the cosmos alight with a fire that never ends. Sounds like a science fiction nightmare, right? Well, that's exactly what could happen if space was filled with oxygen. Oxygen is a key ingredient for fire. It allows combustion to occur, and in an environment filled with oxygen, even the smallest spark could lead to a catastrophic explosion. Now, picture a spaceship, filled with electrical equipment and human beings, both capable of producing sparks. In a cosmos teeming with oxygen, every space mission would be a high-stakes game, a dance with danger, where the smallest misstep might set the universe aflame. Consider the risks of space debris. A tiny piece of rogue metal hurtling through space could impact a spacecraft, producing a spark. In an oxygen-rich environment, this spark could ignite a fire that devours the spacecraft in seconds. And it's not just about the immediate danger to astronauts. An oxygen-filled space could make distant space travel virtually impossible. The risk of fire would be too high, the stakes too great. We might end up trapped on our own planet, our dreams of exploring the cosmos extinguished in a blaze of hypothetical fire. However, this isn't the only challenge we'd face. With oxygen in space, we'd need to find a way to manage it. This statement brings us to a fascinating aspect of our hypothetical oxygen-rich cosmos. The management of oxygen levels would be a task of paramount importance. Just as we regulate the temperature and humidity in our homes, we'd need to develop specialized equipment to control the oxygen levels in space. This is because excess oxygen can lead to high-pressure environments, which can pose a serious threat to both astronauts and spacecraft. Consider for a moment the apparatus used by deep-sea divers. These brave explorers face similar challenges as they must carefully manage the oxygen they breathe under extreme pressure. They use a device known as a rebreather, which recycles the air they exhale, removing carbon dioxide and adding oxygen as needed to maintain a safe and breathable atmosphere. In space, we might need something akin to a cosmic rebreather, a device that could maintain optimal oxygen levels within a spacecraft or on the surface of a planet. This would ensure that our brave spacefarers wouldn't be at risk from oxygen toxicity, a condition that can cause convulsions and other serious health issues. But it's not just about the astronauts. We'd also need to ensure that spacecraft materials wouldn't react adversely with high levels of oxygen. And let's not forget the risk of fire. Oxygen is a potent oxidizer, and any spark could lead to a catastrophic blaze. So while the idea of oxygen in space is intriguing, it's clear that it would present a whole new set of challenges. So is oxygen in space a blessing or a curse? Now there's a question that's not so straightforward. Let's recap. On one hand, the presence of oxygen could make space travel more accessible. Imagine astronauts breathing freely, not constrained by bulky suits or the constant worry about oxygen supply. However, this seemingly utopian scenario isn't without its problems. Oxygen, for all its life-giving properties, is also a vital component in combustion. A space filled with oxygen could be a tinderbox waiting for a spark, making the cosmos a far more dangerous place than it already is. Then there's the issue of managing oxygen levels. Too much or too little, and it could spell disaster for any life forms venturing into space. So is oxygen in space a blessing or a curse? It seems it's both, a tantalizing prospect yet fraught with peril. It's a fascinating question to ponder and one that underscores just how much we still have to learn about the